It has finally arrived, Summoner Wars on iOS. Let's take a look at this game from Playdeck that promises to bring the great card game to iOS, as well as a great async multiplayer experience like unto Ascension. Let's check it out and see if this will become the new multiplayer favorite. In Summoner Wars, you are a summoner that can bring units onto a battlefield. Your main goal is to kill the opponent's summoner. That is the only win condition in the game. In order to do this, you'll be using your units to attack the opponent. Each unit has a life total, as well as a large number that shows the number of dice they roll to attack, a small number that shows what they cost to bring out onto the board, and their special ability. Each round, you will have a chance to summon units onto the battlefield. This will be done by selecting cards in your hand that you can afford, and then placing them on the battlefield. Each card has a cost, such as this one is 6, so you will check your magic pile to see if you have enough. In this case, we do have enough and can play our champion onto the battlefield. So we spin the magic into our discard pile and then place the card next to one of our walls on the battlefield. Apart from summoning and playing events, which are like special abilities, you will do two main things on your turn. The first is move up to 3 of your units, and the second is attack. Attacking is done with dice. The hits of 3 or higher are count as hits. Any other rolls do not count as hits. Any hits will place wound markers on the character, and once they reach their life total, they will be killed. Now, in this case, our summoner is giving a special ability to our common unit, allowing him to roll 2 dice instead of 1. So we roll the dice, and both are hits, giving us enough hits to defeat the cave goblin and put him into our magic pile, allowing us to use him to bring more of our units onto the board. I must inform you that the 2 factions found here, the Sand Goblins and the Mountain Vargath, are actually not part of the app currently. I simply used them as they were what I had on hand and wanted to show you how the game plays before getting into the app. So let's go check out the app. To borrow the words of Kanye West, the Summoner Wars for iOS may be one of the most anticipated iOS board games of all time. So let's take a look and see if this lives up to the buckets of hype that surround it. In Summoner Wars, you can have several offline games running at once. In these games, you will select a race as well as the deck you want to use with that race and the name of their summoner. You can pull up the deck selection screen to choose some of the default decks, which there are several factions to choose from if you buy the in-app purchases, or you can look at custom decks that you have made. Once you have selected what you want to play, you can also select what your opponent will be, whether this is pass or play, or against the AI. Again, if it is against the AI, only the top 4 decks are available at the moment. Once you have made these decisions, it is time to start the game. Now, Summoner Wars is a fairly complex game with a lot going on, and the interface does a pretty good job of tracking everything that's going on. You will see on the right-hand side, it tracks each phase and tells you what you can do in that phase, so how many people you can move, etc. You can zoom into cards. Cards that have special abilities you can use will be highlighted. And from there, you can start playing the game. Summoner Wars is not a collectible card game, but there are additions to each deck that have come out, allowing you to slightly customize your gameplay experience. This app then features a deck builder, which allows you to, within the rules, build a deck for the game. You can build a deck for any of the factions based on the reinforcement packs that you have purchased. Again, these are all available through the in-app purchase system, which we'll talk about in just a moment. You can have multiple decks for a specific faction, but they must all include the standard cards for that summoner, as well as the appropriate amount of both champions and common units. As I mentioned before, several times, Summoner Wars has an in-app store that allows you to purchase several available new summoner decks, as well as reinforcements for those decks. Now, if you were to purchase everything, it would be somewhere around $16. However, they have a bundle where you can purchase everything for only $8. If you are interested in this game, I certainly recommend that, as you will save a lot of money, and though it is somewhat of an investment, it is definitely worth it. Due to some difficulties, I was unable to get footage of the online interface for this game. However, it is very similar to Ascension or other Playdeck apps, and I think that you will find it enjoyable. The online play has a lot of players, and seems like it will be a great experience. It is asynchronous, and functions very similar to the offline game. I would definitely recommend it for fans of the game and for those that want to play with friends. It really is a great addition to the game, and I think that it will be something that we will be playing for months and months to come. There are several other elements to the game, such as options that allow you to change the animation speed of the game, as well as the sound levels. You also have a rulebook and a card gallery. In the card gallery, you can see each of the cards, like in previous playdeck apps, which is more helpful for looking really than a rules explanation. The rulebook is useful if you want to see every rule written down, though there is a tutorial in the game which you can also access. There are also links to Playdeck's previous apps if there's anything you missed and would like to check out. The real question here is whether or not Summoner Wars was worth the wait. I'm here to say that I think it was. It provides a lot of content and a very polished interface. It will be something that you can play online competitively and enjoy this very well-balanced and great game all the time with friends or with strangers online in ways that you could never do with the physical copy. Summoner Wars is a beautiful app, and I like how they have tried to simplify a lot of things. Now, there are some things that I would love to see added. I think the deck building system is a little difficult to navigate and could be made a little clearer. I also think that an undo button would be great, as the cards are small and sometimes mistakes are made, especially when it comes to abilities and how they stack, etc. This has been done in a lot of other apps, and I think would be a great addition here. The real question in my mind is if Summoner Wars can compete in this crowded market. We have Outwitters and Hero Academy, which are two games that feature video game elements and do this same sort of turn-based strategy thing. Now, it is no secret that Summoner Wars is a much better game, a much better balanced game, much more content, etc. However, these other games do have more of a mass appeal. I think it is up to Playdeck and us as users to get the word out of the quality of this game, as well as show how it will appeal to fans of Hero Academy and Outwitters. Summoner Wars definitely is a great game, and I recommend it for all iOS board gamers. This is a must-have, and it really is one of the best games that has ever been released by Playdeck. I definitely recommend it. Go get it now.